I like to do a little housekeeping up front. If anybody that has joined us, if they will be sure and mute themselves and only put their questions in the chat, we'll pass the questions along to our guest at the end of the program a little bit. I have some questions I'm going to start off by asking her. I want to remind everybody that we're talking about controversial subjects matter, and I don't want anybody to get carried away and, get ugly or anything. Be open-minded, receive the information you get, and think about what you're learning tonight. It's new material. So with that, we'll get started. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
A little bit? Well, I'm 68 years old and I live in South Texas. I've been a practicing witch since 2010 is when I received my degree in as a Wiccan clergy. And so pretty much after the kids left, I had the freedom to do what I wanted to, and finally work things out. Okay. I'm also a published writer, but just a couple of small articles. That's kind of what set me down the path. So,
okay.
And like I said, I live in South Texas now.
Okay. Did those articles, is that what drew you to witchcraft or Wiccan?
Oh, actually, it's a hard question because I remember my grandma B would bake cookies and all the goodies for holidays, and I'd be in the kitchen with her. I was real little. She threw the runes. So my grandmother was Irish Druid, is what she claimed. But she says, if anybody asks, you just tell them I hate Catholics and I'm Protestant. That was back in the day. Remember, my grandmother B was born back in 1898. So, okay. She had a certain mindset about things. Right. So.
Well, being Wiccan, do you not believe in Christ or?
Oh, no. Now that's a thing. It doesn't negate Christ. Wicca is your free will. You can do whatever you want there. It's not a book religion. You're not in a little box that you can only believe this stuff right here, right? Okay. Most Wiccans choose to believe that Jesus was a prophet and was a real person, but they don't necessarily believe that he was a Messiah. That is different from how my religion has developed. I take what I needed from the school I went to, which was Witch School. There was actually an online school called Witch School. They had lots of good information, and I attended for about 3 years. But I chose to go my own path. So now I'm more of an eclectic witch with a Celtic background. Okay. So I was a Sunday school teacher at one point in my life, raising the kids and stuff. So I do believe in Christ, and I would never negate Christ. It's instead of either or, it's both.
Okay, understood. Okay, can anybody become a witch?
Yes, absolutely, because it's just a matter of working it. Anybody can do the work with oils and herbs and stuff. You could be an oil or a herbist witch, a garden witch, a hedge witch, where you work in the garden, you make oils and stuff for different things. And there's not a heck of a lot of magic along with that, except being able to communicate with nature, which does help to develop your more intuitive, sensitive, natural abilities, because everyone has them. Only some people, well, let's say, I can sing row, row, row your boat, but I could never make it at the Metropolitan Opera. Okay. You see the difference there. But yes, everybody can do it. And it's just a matter of exercising, finding your psychic muscles and then exercising them through practice.
Okay. Let me ask you something that I forgot to put in my list of questions.
Sure.
I'm curious, do you actually ride a broom or do you have a broom?
I have several brooms. My husband loves me. He buys those scented brooms for me all the time. They're all over my house. I have about 20 of them. But as far as riding a broom in the sky, I actually have flown across the moon at midnight, but I was on a plane going to Oklahoma to visit a friend.
Well, I was curious because
So no, that's just the fantasy part of it, stories and books that they make for children.
Sure.
Although we are all powerful, magical beings. And I'm not just talking about witches. I'm talking about human beings.
Okay.
We all have this magical potential in us. It's just a matter of developing it.
Okay. So anyway, how do you learn about being a witch and get the training? You were talking about this.
Well, I've already said, there is a witch school online. They charge for their courses or whatever, of course. I'm still kind of there. I'm associated with, because I'm a lifetime member. But I prefer to work on my own and work with others, empower others, instead of creating what they would call a huge coven. All these people are in the same church.
Yeah.
Then you're going back to the same stuff that happens in every organized institutional religion. They all start jockeying for position. Be friends with, the Reverend Don who actually started witch school. But, I saw it happening in my own church when I was going to regular church, that people would do that honey up, and, oh, you're the bishop's wife. Isn't that wonderful? Like it gives you status. And I believe all human beings are on the same level, and we need to deal with each other as individuals. So instead of trying to create a coven for myself and make myself the high priestess of something, what I do is I teach people how to take care of themselves, how to make their own connection with deity. It's pretty simple. That way you don't have to go run into a church here or calling somebody there. You can just talk to God all by yourself.
Okay. How long does it take to become a trained witch?
Well, it's probably different with everyone. Like I said, I had some small semblance of it when I was a little girl. My grandmother would throw the runes when I was little. Of course, we got caught by my Southern grandma, and she weren't having none of that. But, once you admit it to yourself, you read the literature, experiment, go around, I suggest read some books on it, talk to witches like me and get some input, see if that's what you want to do. And once you have accepted the crown, the mantle of witch, then you just have to work at it. The word witch comes from, the base word is wit. So you have to be intelligent about yourself and, have some sort of a moralistic background. In Wicca, the Wiccan read is, do what thy will with harm to none. And a lot of people forget the second part. I don't do love spells because that's interfering with someone else's free will. So you have to consider that as being harm when you're putting something on someone else, and be very careful about the workings that you do. But like I said, they can contact me anytime. I have quite a few courses I've worked on with other people to help them develop their psychic abilities in whatever area they're interested in.
Well, I have two people that had contacted me. They say that some witch had put a spell on them, and one was not available to attend tonight. The other one hasn't logged in with us yet. Is there some way to go about breaking that spell?
Oh, yeah. I'd have to talk to them, though.
Okay.
Because that would give me the connection to where I could figure out what's actually going on. It's kind of presumptuous of most people to think, oh, sure, I just burn some sage and, stuff like that. Pretend. A lot of people want to pretend they're witches. Being a witch does take a lot of dedication. And like I said, you have to go within yourself and say, is this the best thing to do? I don't want to curse people, even if they cut me off in traffic or something, Right. You may cuss at them, but you don't really want to hurt anybody. Yeah. But there are those who do not follow the Wiccan read, And that's their path. They want to be dark witches, or gray witches is what some of them call themselves. Oh, no, I do good stuff and bad stuff. And I'm going, why are you doing the bad stuff? Yeah. You're kind of counteracting the good stuff you did. So, yes, I could probably help her, him or her. Give them my contact information, my email. Okay. Hook me up on Facebook with them, whatever. I'd be glad to talk to them free of charge.
Okay. And one of my questions to you was, are witches evil?
Like I just said, some are and some aren't. Some people are good and some people are bad. Okay. You know, you get what you get. It's an open bag. But I must say that most of the witches I know are kind, loving, caring people. And we don't all run around on brooms or anything like that. It could be your neighbor. Could be the guy down the street. You never know. I've met a lot of really wonderful people, male and female witches, and they've all been very kind and open to me. But, you know, there's those who have their little ego stuff connected to their work. I try to bypass my ego. I don't think we should ever get rid of it. God put it there for a reason. My husband says, it's to hold you down, girl. You'd be doing your freaking witchy kung fu all over the place and forget to come home. It's true. I love my husband. He's my rock. But yeah, it's really interesting that there are good and bad witches. I mean, it can be like not a good witch, you know, meaning that your spells fail, or you can just really be an evil witch that wants, well, I want that, so I'm going to take it from you, and I've got the abilities. I had one gal years ago when I was doing the Beyond Natural show. Yeah. She's calls herself a dream reader. Well, I made a remark on St. Patrick's Day about St. Patrick's being a metaphor for driving out the snakes, was a metaphor for getting rid of the pagans. Well, and this is I posted it on my timeline, but you know, everybody's scrolls through their news from their friends. She saw it and made all kinds of derogatory remarks. Upset me a great deal. I would delete it and tell her, please be respectful, so she'd post something else. So that night I was lying in bed going to sleep, and I saw my daughter walking through the bathroom and coming over to me. And my daughter's like in her 30s, and this was like her when she was 7 years old. And next thing I know, somebody has jumped on top of me. I literally saw this with my own eyes, even though it's a psychic episode, right? Mm-hmm. I saw the face of the woman that was doing that, and I threw her off. Then I contacted a gray witch that I know. Oh, yeah, I saw her face. You want to do something with her? She goes, let's make sure we're protected. So I wrote a spell beseeching, where we astral traveled to her house, talked to her higher self, her spirit guides, and told them what she had done. And then we wrapped a silver cord around her so she could not do this to anyone else. Mm-hmm. And it will dissolve if she starts being nice and stops using her abilities for badness, you know, for just because she was pissed off. Yeah. All I received from her a little while after that was, oh, I'm so sorry. I've got cancer. Is cancer a reason for being an asshole? Excuse me. But, you know, just that sort of stuff. I'm sensitive to it. Well, as you know, I'm a paranormal investigator, so I've gotten rid of some spirits. Okay. I usually let my sister Moon take on the heavy lifting because she's the voodoo gal that, you know, she doesn't mind talking to a demon or two. Personally, I stay away from those guys, if at all possible.
I don't have any trouble with them. In fact, they tend to want to stay away from me.
You know, when you shine your light so bright, the cockroaches can't come anywhere near you.
I like that saying. Very good. Well, I tell you what, I thought 10 questions would take 30 minutes, and we've already gone through all 10 of those questions, and it's not even been 15 minutes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we're making great time.
Well, you can ask me anything you want. Oh, I do have courses. I particularly like this one for young women, but I've also taught it to couples. It's called The Goddess Within, and it just connects you very personally to the goddess, the the divine feminine, the divine sacred feminine energy.
Okay.
Even if we go through the maiden, mother, and crone, because of my Wiccan background, I wanted to go through those 3 stages, and every woman has them. You're a maiden, you're beautiful, running through the flowers. You're a wife, you're making babies.
Yeah.
And then when your children leave, you're a crone, which means you get your crown. The word crone came from the word crown. And I got my crown to be a good witch. Oh, I did want to tell you something really funny.
Okay.
When I was a little girl, and this part isn't too funny, but we were in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and there was a tornado. Well, my dear mother was so pregnant, just about ready to pop, she couldn't get into the root cellar. So I was the baby at the time, so I sat with her, and I was telling her about the Wizard of Oz I had just seen. I said, oh, the good witch will come. The good witch will come, and then we can click our heels, and we'll go right back home. Fast forward to my senior year in high school, I got to be the good witch in the Wizard of Oz, the play we did in high school.
Okay.
And that kind of back then was the, what do you call it, the foreshadowing of the kind of witch I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I want to be the good witch that helps people. Every week, I have an online healing ritual where a lot of ladies and a couple of guys, witches, that we all got together and we all signed in on one little chat line, and I do a regular Wiccan style ritual to heal whoever wants to be healed. We get requests all the time. I have lists this long of people that need healing. Wow. So that's one of the things I do for free.
Okay.
But like I said, I started charging for my courses some time back because it is so labor intensive, because I will record it and send everybody just the audio, though it's too much with my equipment to try to video it. But okay. I'll send you a recording of whatever happened during the class time, so you'll be able to, refresh yourself and listen to that anytime you want to.
Okay.
So I also have a class on magic. It connects you more with the fairy folks, because I've been involved with the fairies since I was 3 years old in my mummy's garden. Okay. And that's very interesting. I've had people who took that to say I give so much knowledge, as much as I have available, and then we discuss it and how we can use the knowledge about what's really magic. Every day, I bet you do magic. Have you ever said to someone, I wish you have a good day? Have a good day. Sure. This is wishcraft. Mm-hmm. We manifest a good day by I hope you have a good day. That could put a smile on somebody's face, and there you go. You've made a magical difference without ever having to call yourself a witch.
Or a warlock. Or call yourself a warlock, if you're male.
Well, most of the male witches I know prefer to just be called witch.
Oh, really?
Because the warlock thing, it's more like me calling myself super sorceress of the universe.
Oh, really?
I'm super sorceress, but I don't like to do that.
Okay. I had no idea.
Excuse my lack of humbleness.
Okay. Well, I just thought that warlock was the term for the male witch.
No, a witch is a witch.
Okay.
And you may not ever know which witch is which.
Cute. Well, have you got the books that you've written? Are they out for people to buy? Can they get them?
Oh, I haven't written any books, honey. I've just written some articles and poetry. Okay. And all of that's on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So you could just put in by Googling my name if you want to find out anything. Like with my poetry, I had a couple of them published, and my son used my poetry for his final in American Lit, his senior year. So that was pretty cool. You want me to recite it?
Yeah.
It's my little homage to Jack Kerouac.
Okay.
Knick-knack, Kerouac. Give the crowd a bone. Drink your mocha latte with biscotti or a scone. Beat those bongos, daddy, to a mellow, soothing tone. Trying to swim in heavy water. Now you're sinking like a stone. Spouting disconnected nonsense, and you go home alone. No originality, no vision or a style of your own. Just a nasty reputation as a Kerouac clone.
Very nice.
Thank you. And like I said, it was a real honor when my son told me that he got an A and that was his final, and the teacher called me up. And, oh, your poetry's so wonderful. How can I get into this? So I gave her the information to, it's just, you go to this website, and if your poem's good enough, they'll publish it in one of their books. Of course, you got to pay for it. It's not like I was paid for that poem, but it was a real honor to have my dear son go ahead and use it in his project, make everybody around him go, oh, your mom's a writer. Yeah, I'm a professional writer. Oh, my goodness, I've made all of $60 in my lifetime. It hardly pays for all of the rejection notices I got, sending stuff out mail, and then I started submitting online, and that's where I got Fate Magazine. Fate Magazine, July 7th, 2007. That was a story about me and the angels. I wrote it under the name Maighread Barton Wall, which is my legal name, or Maighread Barton. Okay. That's my legal name, but I take on the moniker of Maighread Birdsong, which is weird. Maighread means Margaret in Gaelic. Okay. Or it's also Welsh. And Birdsong came from the goddess showing me when I was a little girl how I used to wander back into the woods and sing. Because my family go, oh, get out of here. Do you know the song Far, Far Away? Go sing it, Far, Far Away. So I go out in the woods and sing to the birds and the trees. I am not a great singer, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. And I got to play with the fairies and stuff. So it was a really good experience for me.
Okay. Bubba, do you have any questions for
her? Wow. Yeah, I guess. This is the first time I think I'm confused and don't have any questions. But a lot of things that you said, I didn't quite understand, I guess. Like you were talking about when you went to church and religion. So is there a difference between spirituality and religion to you?
Yes. If you call it a religion, is you want to ask the government who they give free taxes to. You have to be a registered religion. But I mean, religions are generally a book religion, the Quran, the Bible, the Book of Mormon. There's nothing like that in Wicca. It really ticks me off when, I've got the Bible of Witches. No, you don't. You got a book that somebody wrote and called it the Bible of Witches. Because if there is a Bible at all for witches, it would be the tarot. You read the tarot, but it changes all the time. And so this is what I was taught in my time at witch school, was that if there is a book that goes with Wicca, it would be the tarot, because that's what we look to find our answers. Whereas a Christian may open up the Bible to find the answers there, which is not to say I haven't found some answers myself in that book. Did that answer your question, hon?
So,
hello?
I guess. So what is a tarot? What is a tarot?
Tarot is just a deck of cards. 72 cards with pictures on them. And I could go do a whole show about that, but I didn't realize I might be asked
tarot
about.
card
I may
reading.
have mentioned tarot. So, I'm sorry. I'm just having a little trouble hearing you, dear.
So you don't read the Bible, you do it with tarot cards. That's
saying
your source?
that Wicca uses the tarot cards. I don't use them as much as I used to. And I have found my path has changed much over the years. I started as a Celtic witch, which means, yes, I did the cards and looked to the cards for answers. But I'm a person who likes to use all of the devices at my control, anywhere, any place. Anything's not off limit to me if I want to find an answer. So I look for it in many different places, and not just the tarot. But what I'm saying is, if you're strictly Wiccan, they follow the tarot as if they like unto the Bible. Is that a more clear answer for you?
Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it. So you label yourself as a witch, a white witch, a dark witch, a gray witch,
I
a
just
pink
label
witch,
myself as
whatever.
a witch.
I thought there was just two,
Okay. I label myself as a witch. It's up to you whether you have experienced me as a good witch or a bad witch. But hopefully it's good. I work mostly with teaching and healing. I don't do a lot of curses or anything like that, although I have removed them. I'm a former paranormal investigator, so I did a lot of that back in the day, clearing houses and removing attachments, spiritual entities from someone who has lived in a haunted house or property. So is there anything else I can do for you, dear?
What kind of healing do you do?
Okay. Several kinds.
What kind of healing? Like how would you do somebody with cancer?
Okay. How we go about it, basically.
And if you can really heal, I want you to heal my hip.
Well, it will take a while, honey, but if I get your name, I'll put you in for healing. Plus, I do Reiki, which is a distance energy healing. So I can help heal you with that. But the best thing for human beings to do, like I said, I didn't. I was talking to John about my sister having cancer. She's in my home. She took her cancer treatment and I gave her Reiki on a regular basis. Now she's showing up as cancer-free and her back's breaking down on her. So she just had back surgery. So it takes a while. It's not spontaneous healing, but using a combination of your doctor, Reiki, and making sure that you keep yourself in a sacred space so you can't be infiltrated upon by anger, any of the bad feelings. It helps you to heal. And I haven't found anybody that can do a complete healing in one go. But I suppose it's possible, but it always has to do with the working between the client and the healer. But I do regular healings weekly. It's just a ritual that we go through. It starts out with, it welcomes everybody there, and then we do invocation. We draw a circle, take everything out of it, make it clean and clear, ask the spirits to make sure our God, our goddess, whoever we are evoking, we ask them to come in and clear the space, and then we're all in the sacred space, and then we thank the spirits for coming, and then we put the people's names in one by one for their healing. And then we thank the God goddess, and we end the ritual. So basically it's a Wiccan type of prayer where we bathe these people in prayer in hopes to affect a positive outcome for their health. Is there something else I can do for you?
So it has nothing to it has nothing to do with faith or Jesus, the healer, or any of that. It's more about faith and getting rid of the negative
Yes,
thoughts, the anger, like you said, and invoking positive and invoking faith.
absolutely.
Right?
But it is
Invoking
all up
faith.
to you. There was one dear lady that asked me for healing. Hello? Okay, let me finish this. There was this one lady who asked me for healing, and I said, I'd love to, honey. May I see a picture of you? Because a lot of times it's easier for me to focus on someone if I have their face to look at. And that's how I can send them Reiki with my hands. Well, she tells me, oh, I'm old. And I go, how old are you? She goes, I'm 56. I go, wait, I'm 66. Send me a picture, girl. I don't care. Put your teeth in. So she sent me a picture of her, and I started to give her the healing. Now, Reiki is with the hands. This is energy that is channeled through me from the universe, God, all of it. Not just Heavenly Father, but all of the angels, whoever I evoke at the time. I can call upon any of the higher realms. I'll call upon them to help me with this healing, and then I will send the healing to the person. And I will usually see them right here in my mind's eye. And when I was sending it to her, I saw her going like this, welcoming the healing in, but then she turned and was throwing it away. This is a psychic message that tells me she really just wanted to be sick for her to get attention. If she wasn't sick anymore, she wouldn't be getting attention from people. So she was accepting the healing with one hand and throwing it away with the other. And so I just told her, I'm so sorry, dear. I don't think I can help you. So it does happen. It's hard to reconcile.
So it was an emotional.
Very often it is our own actions that bring on our dis-ease. We're no longer easy because, we worry too much. I know I put a lot of worry in my stomach, and I've had stomach issues off and on most of my life. So it's just a human thing, and we need to overcome that. And the only way you can overcome diversity is within, not just asking other people to help you, but to go within and sit with it yourself, because even the bad things that happen in our lifetimes have lessons with them. And I find that I have learned more from my mistakes than I did from my accomplishments.
Well, I've got that it's 7:32, so it's our 30 minutes is up. I'd like
okay, honey, I'm sorry I went over.
That's all right, not a problem at all. We're not getting charged for it or anything. It's no big deal. But I want to thank you for coming and being on our podcast tonight, and thank you for sharing the information. And we'll pass on the information to other people that were contacted. And the two that I was talking about, I will give them your contact information.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been my honor, my privilege, and my duty to serve here. I just really had a great time. Thank you so much.
Well, I'll be seeing you on United Paranormal.
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.